Oh, I have fans. Thank you very much. Yes, so thank you, Jamie, too. My name is Katie Rich. I am here to talk to you about Tatango's journey to digital onboarding and at-scale Accelerator. So I'm going to walk you through our journey, and our first stop is really high-touch, one-to-one model. How did we get there? What did we do? And then our next stop is the one-to-many. We were presented with a challenge, and that challenge really surfaced the one-to-many model for us. After we really addressed that challenge, we developed the Accelerator program. And we'll talk a little bit about what did that program end up being, and then what is the future of the program. I've been at Tatango for about 3.5 years. About a year into my time at Tatango, we were presented with this challenge. We started with one group that really did everything for the customer. They did onboarding, they did customer success throughout the whole journey. And as Tatango was really growing and growing fast, we realized this is not scalable. That group was really consumed with onboarding. We weren't onboarding as people as fast as we were growing. So we needed to really rethink our model. So the first thing that we did is we went from this generalist approach of a single group to a specialist approach. And this is when the product experts group was born. So within this group, we had a team of onboarding specialists. And the first thing that we had to do once we had this new organization and this new team is to define the charter. What are we supposed to be doing? And within that charter, one of the biggest decisions we needed to make was, when does onboarding end? Because now this group needs to hand over to another group. So we went through this process, defining the end of onboarding, defining the charter for the group, and then we really needed to decide what tools and technology are we going to use to run this program. So, of course, we picked Tatango. It was an obvious choice for us. But, Tatango really delivered what we needed as well. It was very easy to build a repeatable, scalable, standardized process that I could iterate on. I could change quickly. We started with very simple KPI in the beginning. We decided to measure total days in onboarding and customer satisfaction. So those two measurements really helped us to kind of surface issues, surface problems, and iterate against our program. Over time, we had many KPI that we added. We refined our processes to meet new targets. We started with 85 days in onboarding. We moved that to 65 days in onboarding to 50 days. So over time, we were gradually iterating on the program. So what were the results? We were able to get this set up very quickly. It was very successful. We had very high CSAT. We were scaling with our growth. We actually took our learnings and in true Tatango fashion, we wanted to share it with all of you. So we built the Manage Onboarding Project Success Block, which is modeled after our own processes. So you think you're done, right? We're successful. We're giving everybody a project-based approach, a one-to-one, high CSAT. But of course, no, you're not done. We're presented with another challenge. So now our product-led growth strategy was really bringing in a lot of customers. We, again, were not onboarding as fast as we were growing. It was actually changing our customer segment mix. We had a lot more mid-market customers coming in. Our high-touch model, again, was no longer scalable for us, but we also found that it was no longer working for all of our customers. Mid-market customers were very different in their what they needed. So then we took our high-touch model, what we knew was successful and knew was what was working, and we made it a one-to-many model. And when we did this, we really had to think about how to simplify this program, how to streamline it, how to scale it. We didn't reinvent the wheel. We knew what was working in our project-based approach. We knew what we were teaching customers. We knew what they were learning, and we knew what they wanted to start with. We just changed all of that from one-to-one meetings to webinars. So now instead of teaching one customer at a time, we were teaching a dozen customers at a time. And to keep the customer moving and to make sure that they still had that expert approach, we did offer them a series of one-to-one checkpoints with experts throughout the program, where they could actually have somebody come check their work. So this was our first iteration of Accelerator. And I say first because we probably have had 6 other versions since then. And we continuously iterate on this program. So, we think, yes, we have Accelerator, we've done our work, everybody's loving it, it's going well, and then we realize customers are getting stuck. Tatango is actually telling us exactly where in their process that they're not moving forward. So then we take that data and we decide we need to iterate this program again. And so we took all of those live sessions and we recorded them. And when we started sending them to the customers, you can attend a live or you can watch the recording. And we found that customers were opting out of our live sessions. They were watching the recordings. They said, this is great. This is all I needed. I want to move forward. So we also added drip campaigns. These are little training videos that help customers exercise what they just learned in a webinar. And we saw activities in Tatango increasing as we started adding these to our program throughout the program. So now, this is what our program looks like. It's very dynamic. It's driven by campaigns, both campaigns to the customer, but also automated success plays that help us collect data about the customer. They also help move the customer through the journey as the customer makes selections within the campaigns. And we were able to see our results immediately, right away. We onboarded 3.5 times more customers in 2021 versus the year before. We had a 28% decrease in the median days to onboarding for our mid-market Accelerator customers versus those that opted into project-based approach. We had a 97% CSAT rating for Accelerator as well. And before I get to takeaways, the next iteration of Accelerator, as Jamie's alluded to, is we now have a program that was really intended for our paying mid-market customers. It included people running webinars, it included checkpoints and one-on-one calls, and as we started to learn that customers didn't really necessarily want all of the high touch, they just wanted it recorded, we now have a very low touch program that's completely scalable and is available to everyone. Paying, free, everyone should have access to it. And it not only will help our freemium customers set up the platform appropriately in the beginning to help them adopt the platform, but it also helps new users to Tatango who want to go through this program again. So takeaways from our journey over the last 2 years is just get started. I think if I could do it over again, I would have just done it a year earlier or 2 years earlier. You're not going to know everything right away. Start with what you know. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to learn from that starting place and be prepared to iterate quickly and often. And I think that's it for me.